father ignored me again. To celebrate Children's Day during this summer holiday, our clan was holding a festival and charity event in the city park. The festivities included a group exercise session, a morning walk, competitions for children, a play, and various other activities. I had been at Father's side since the festival's opening speech at 6 this morning. After the exercise session, I hoped to walk around with him and explore the stalls, but he was engrossed in conversation with the elders and clan leaders. I lingered near the main tent, waiting for him while watching the competition. It was exciting, but I couldn't stay long. The elders had assigned me to manage the drinks stall at the committee tent. Kuro, a bossy teenager and son of one of the clan leaders, was supposed to be on duty from 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. I was scheduled from 2 until 5. That meant I still had some time to enjoy the festival. I wanted to look around and watch the play. Mother had also mentioned that our family would have a picnic for lunch. I kept glancing at Father, who seemed oblivious to my presence. Biting my lip, I remembered Father's brief mention of accompanying me to check out the stalls before the main event. Had he forgotten? I shouldn't have been surprised. This wasn't the first time Father had broken a promise to attend to clan matters. Elder Faye often said that a clan leader shouldn't think only of himself, but I was still disappointed. I thought that on Children's Day, Father might spare a little time for me. Never mind. Realizing I'd have to go alone, I left the competition area. I watched other children chasing each other with their friends. If only I had a friend to play with here. I kicked a pebble on the path. 2 months had passed since I started at the academy, but I hadn't made any close friends. Perhaps they didn't want to befriend someone who couldn't play after school. Ever since I was appointed as the future clan leader, Father and the elders had arranged a busy schedule for me. I spent most of my time studying in the accelerated class. Between study sessions, I could only play with my younger siblings at home. Ugh. If only my siblings had come with Father, we could be exploring the festival area now. But they had wanted to go with Mother, who needed to finish some tasks at home. I paused and looked around. Not far ahead, several people were gathered at the committee tent. They appeared to be volunteers. The committee was providing free drinks and food for all clan members helping with the event. I decided to grab a snack there before exploring. When I entered the tent, Elder May was busy serving visitors. "Ah, Tadashi. It's good you came early," she called out when she spotted me. "I just heard that Kuro is sick, so there's no one to manage the drinks stall this morning. You're on duty this afternoon, aren't you? Could you start working now?" I had wanted to stroll around the park, but Elder May seemed to be struggling to manage the food and drinks stall by herself. Finally, I nodded and bowed to her. "All right, Elder May." She prepared some cold orange soda. My task was to pour it into glasses, serve them on the table, then collect and carry the dirty glasses to the back. 2 people were already on dishwashing duty there. The task wasn't difficult, but the large number of people coming meant I had to keep going back and forth between the drinks table and the dishwashing area. In my haste, I dropped and broke a glass. Elder May scolded me for my carelessness, then told me to clean it up quickly. Before I knew it, an hour had passed. At 10 in the morning, Mother arrived with my siblings. "Tadashi, I'm going to teach a flower arranging class and help out at the main tent," she said. "Shiro will come with me, but Raito doesn't want to. Could you watch Raito for a bit?" "Big brother." Raito let go of Shiro's hand and came running to hug me, laughing. I smiled and hugged him back. "Please, Tadashi, I'll come back here when I'm finished." "It's okay, Mother. I'll take care of Raito." Mother then kissed my forehead. "Thank you, dear. I want a kiss too." Raito tugged at Mother's clothes and raised his hand. Mother chuckled and hugged Raito, kissing his forehead as well. After that, she said goodbye to Elder May and left us. In front of the tent, Raito waved enthusiastically. Raito, my youngest brother, was 4 years old. He was a cheerful child who always wanted to play and explore. But he also got bored easily. When that happened, he became mischievous and whiny. It would definitely be disruptive if he went with Mother to the main tent. But if Raito stayed here... I looked at the drinks table from afar. Even though it had been tidied up earlier, people who had finished their drinks were putting their glasses back there, making the table look messy. Just looking at it made my head spin. let alone Elder May, who was supervising my work today. Elder May was the clan's etiquette and manners teacher. She taught us how to attend banquets, how to greet and respect elders, how to sit and speak at clan meetings, and so on. She was neat and disciplined. She didn't like it when I played around while working. Elder May also didn't like noisy people. I was afraid she would be disturbed by Reito's presence, but I couldn't bear to refuse Mother's request. "Peekaboo!" shouted Reito, startling me from behind. "Tadashi, let's play peekaboo!" He took my hand and smiled widely. Unlike the adults, Reito's gaze always made me feel like a superhero. I smiled back and ruffled his hair. Reito was a good kid. I would be lonely if he didn't stay with me here. It seemed like I just needed to keep him from getting bored. Elder May cleared her throat. She looked at me from the food table with a frown. I lowered my head and took Reito to the drinks table. I needed to quickly find a quiet activity for him. That shouldn't be too difficult, right? At first, everything was fine. Reito seemed fascinated by the colorful glasses on the drinks table, so I enlisted his help. "Hey, Reito, want to help me set up these glasses?" I asked. I placed 3 glasses on a tray. Reito's eyes lit up as he carefully selected glasses of different colors, arranging them in neat rows. "Wow, that looks great," I praised. His giggle of delight warmed my heart. "Let's do some more." After serving drinks for a while, I decided to spice things up. "All right, time for a treasure hunt. I'll be the pirate captain, and you're my trusty navigator." We scoured the area for our treasure, dirty glasses hidden under chairs, near the cake table, behind boxes, even in the bushes. We raced to pile up our loot in the royal headquarters of dishwashing, both of us grinning from ear to ear. As lunchtime rolled around, the crowd swelled. I found myself swamped at the drinks table, while Reito contentedly played with a paper boat, lost in his imaginative world. I kept an eye out for Mother and Father, hoping they'd whisk us away for our promised picnic, but they never showed. Eventually, Elder May granted me a measly 15-minute break. I grabbed Reito and we headed to a shady spot behind the tent for a quick bite. That was when I spotted a small playground nearby. "Tadashi, can we go on the slide, please?" Reito's eyes were as wide as saucers, practically vibrating with excitement. I hated to burst his bubble. "Food first, Reito, then we can play, okay?" He pouted but complied. Just as we finished eating and I was about to cave into his pleading eyes, Elder May's voice rang out, summoning me back to work. I winced. "Come on, Reito, we need to head back inside." His face fell faster than a stone. But the slide," he protested, pointing emphatically. "I promise we'll come back this afternoon, okay? But right now, we've got to go in." "No," he wailed, yanking his hand away. "I want to go on the slide." I felt my resolve crumbling. All right, one time down the slide, then we go in. Deal?" Reito zoomed up the ladder and whooshed down, his laughter echoing across the playground. As soon as he hit the bottom, he was pointing back up. "Again, Tadashi! Please?" I shook my head, already feeling Elder May's disapproval. "Later. Reito, I'm already late." His lower lip trembled, and I could see the tantrum brewing. Oh no, what should I do? Ugh, think fast, Tadashi. Suddenly, inspiration struck. I knelt down, tapping my shoulder. "Hey, wanna ride? All aboard the Tadashi Express?" "No, slide," he whined, tugging at my shirt. I revved up an imaginary engine. "Vroom vroom, who wants to fly with me? We're about to take off." Me, Reito cried, his mood instantly flipping as he clambered onto my back. I stood up, wheezing slightly. His arms around my neck made breathing a challenge, but at least my plan had worked. Laughing, he tugged at my hair, urging me forward. "Hold on tight, Captain Reito," I called out before flying in a zigzag path from the playground to the committee tent. When we entered, Elder May was arranging glasses on the drinks table. She turned, and her disapproving gaze bore into me. "I've been calling for you," she said, her tone clipped. "What took so long?" I gently set Reito down and bowed low. "I'm sorry, Elder May. It won't happen again." She pursed her lips, then proceeded to pile on more work for me. Now, in addition to the glasses, I had to ferry dirty plates to the washing area and bring clean ones back. The constant back and forth was exhausting, but as the clan heir, I wasn't allowed to complain. To keep Raito occupied, I quickly fashioned another paper toy for him. Just when I thought I had things under control, Raito's voice piped up. "Tadashi, I want one of those." He pointed at some kids outside carrying balloon animals, fish for the boys, dolls for the girls. Apparently, they were giving them out for free at the main tent. "I'll grab you one later, okay?" I promised, my eyes darting to the stack of dishes waiting to be cleared. Raito shook his head stubbornly. "No, let's get it now, please." I glanced at Elder May, knowing she'd be furious if I abandoned my post. But the lunch rush had died down, and I'd cleared most of the dirty dishes. Maybe I could sneak away for just a minute. I approached Elder May, my heart in my throat. "Elder may I please step out for a moment? I'll be right back." She didn't look thrilled, but nodded curtly. "Make it quick." Relief flooded through me. "Thank you." I smiled and bowed. I quickly took Raito's hand and ushered him outside. "Come on, Raito, let's get you that balloon." The main tent was a hive of activity. Visitors from all over, our clan, other clans, regular townsfolk, milled about. Kids darted to and fro, dragging their parents to various attractions. I scanned the stage area, spotting my mother deep in conversation, teaching a rapt audience. Shiro sat beside her, watching attentively and lending a hand when needed. Father was in the midst of a panel discussion, looking every bit the dignified clan leader. A pang of disappointment hit me as I remembered Mother's promise of a family picnic. Had they eaten yet? I noticed a stack of bento boxes off to the side of the stage. Okay, maybe they already had lunch. At least someone was making sure the performers were fed. Why did I have to make a big deal out of this? I shook off the melancholy. There'd be other chances for family time, right? I turned to the left side of the main tent and made way to the balloon station. A colorful array of fish-shaped inflatables tied to a pole beside a table. Both rubber and plastic options were available. My heart sank when I saw who was manning the booth. Sadi, 5 years my senior and the son of another clan leader, had never bothered to hide his dislike for me. I plastered on a polite smile. "Good afternoon, Sadi. Could we get a balloon for Raito, please?" Sadi's eyes barely flicked to my little brother before he drawled, "All out." I frowned, confused. "But there are plenty right there." "Those are for pre-orders," he snapped, his glare intensifying. "Really? This many pre-orders?" I couldn't keep the skepticism out of my voice. "Yes, what's it to you?" he challenged. "I only make them when there's an order. Lots of people asked earlier. If you want one so bad, make it yourself." It was clear Sadi was lying, but I didn't want to cause a scene. Besides, Raito was getting antsy, reaching for the tied balloons. I had to intervene before he grabbed one. "Tadashi, balloon!" Raito whined, his patience wearing thin. Okay, I'll make you one myself, all right?" The plastic balloons were admittedly prettier, but Sadi was hoarding the pump. Sighing inwardly, I grabbed a rubber balloon from the jar. "What color do you want, Raito?" Raito pointed to a long red fish balloon. I'd just finished blowing it up and tying the string when a girl and her mother approached, both wearing elaborate yukatas emblazoned with the Fuma clan emblem. I bowed respectfully, my manners kicking in. "Welcome. Would you like a balloon?" The mother smiled warmly. "Which one catches your eye, Saki?" "Ah." My breath caught. Saki Fuma? The youngest daughter of the Fuma clan leader. Father had drilled the names of other clan heirs into my head, but I'd never actually met any of them face to face. Before I could say anything, Sadi butted in. "The doll balloons for girls are over there, ma'am." Saki's eyes narrowed. "I want a fish balloon," she said, her tone brooking no argument. Sadi's face clouded over, clearly about to say something inflammatory. Not wanting to risk offending the Fuma clan, I quickly intervened. "You know, I think this yellow one would look stunning with your beautiful yukata," I said, plucking one of the plastic balloons from Sadi's off-limits pile. Saki's cheeks tinged pink. "Really?" I smiled and nodded encouragingly. Her face lit up as she accepted the balloon, thanking me profusely before leaving with her mother. As soon as they were out of earshot, Sadi rounded on me. "What do you think you're doing?" he hissed. "I told you those were reserved." I shrugged, trying to keep my cool. That was the Fuma clan leader's wife and daughter. Just make another one, it's not a big deal. Sadi's face contorted with rage, his mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. Before he could unleash whatever tirade he was building up to, I scooped up Raito and beat a hasty retreat. Back at the committee tent, Elder May was already waiting, arms crossed and foot tapping impatiently. She scolded me harshly for taking so long, her words sharp as knives. I hung my head, enduring the verbal lashing without complaint. It wasn't fair. I wasn't trying to neglect my clan duties, really. I just wanted to be a good big brother. Was that so wrong? Choking back the lump in my throat, I forced myself to stay silent until Elder May had said her piece. Once she'd left, I threw myself back into work, clearing away dirty dishes and glasses with renewed vigor. Raito tugged at my sleeve, wanting to play with his balloon, but I gently shook my head. Not right now, Raito. Why don't you play by yourself for a bit? As the day wore on, the committee tent saw a surge in visitors. Maybe people were looking for a place to rest after a long day of festivities. I wiped the sweat from my brow, feeling the strain of hours on my feet. Truth be told, I was desperate for a break myself. My legs felt like lead, threatening to give out at any moment. I glanced at the clock. 3:30 p.m., still an hour and a half to go before my shift ended. How was Raito holding up? He'd been awfully quiet. I grabbed a glass of ice water for him, then froze. Raito wasn't by the drinks table where I'd left him. A tendril of dread curled in my stomach. Raito? I called out, scanning the tent. Nothing. I dashed to the tent entrance, my voice rising in panic. Raito. People turned to stare, but I didn't care. I waited and waited, straining to hear his voice. But Raito didn't answer. My heart pounded as I set down the drink and raced to the park behind the tent. Raito had begged me to play several times, but I'd brushed him off, too focused on my work. Now guilt gnawed at me. Excuse me, I called out to an older boy on the swings. Have you seen a 4-year-old in a blue yukata with a red balloon? The kid just shook his head and ran off, leaving me dumbfounded. What did that mean? Had he not seen Raito at all? Just arrived? Wasn't paying attention? Or didn't understand my question? Ugh, I scanned the area. To my right stretched a row of festival vendor stalls. Far to the left was the dishwashing area. Wait, that's right. I'd been about to collect dirty plates when I last saw Raito. Did my little brother come by here? I asked the dishwashers desperately. They exchanged glances before shrugging. No kids playing back here. Try asking someone else. Back in the tent, I approached Elder May as she made coffee. She looked really tired. I didn't want to bother her, but I had no choice. Excuse me, Elder May, have you seen Raito? She turned, frowning. The clinking of her spoon against the glass sounded loud against the silence. Wasn't he with you? I don't recall. Perhaps he went to find your parents. I nodded and asked permission to go out for a bit and search for him. Elder May's eyes narrowed, her lips thinning to a line. When she spoke, her voice was ice cold. You've been neglecting your duties repeatedly, Tadashi. Leave again and I'll be forced to note it in your activity report. Oh, my breath caught. Every week, Father and the elders scrutinize those reports, quick to correct and punish any mistakes I made. If Elder May wrote something negative, I swallowed hard. They'd be furious, no doubt. But what about Raito? I couldn't just abandon him out of self-preservation. No one knew where he was. What if he was in trouble? I had to go look for him. I couldn't just stay here doing nothing. I apologize for the trouble, Elder May, I murmured, bowing low as I made my decision. I will return shortly. I dashed out, pushing through the crowd in the main tent. A girl in purple yukata, a boy in blue, no, too tall, another in blue but carried by his mother. One with curly hair, but no, it's not Raito. Red, blue, gray, not Raito, not Raito, not Raito. My heart raced as I scanned the sea of people. I caught sight of my mother. Raito wasn't there. Mother saw me and smiled, waving at my direction. My stomach churned. I forced a smile and then retreated aimlessly. Somehow I ended up at Sadi's abandoned balloon table. A sign read, "Free balloons, please take one." A red fish balloon stared back at me, identical to Raito's. I picked it up, realizing I hadn't attached a weight to his balloon. I just looped the string around his wrist. Was Raito still carrying it? The image of him wandering alone, lost in the crowd, made my chest tighten painfully. What should I do now? Should I tell father? But interrupting the event would cause chaos. Tomorrow's newspapers would scream son of Masamune clan leader missing. Other clans would snicker behind our backs. People would see that our clan couldn't even handle its own security. Everyone would berate me. Even my parents. I took a labored breath. How long had Raito been gone? I had to find him fast. Maybe the vendors near the playground had seen him. I immediately started running. Well, I saw a boy in blue on the swings, said the takoyaki seller, scratching his head. But no red balloon. Oh yes, a little boy fell from the swings, added the dango vendor. Didn't see it myself though. A customer mentioned it. My stomach lurched. Raito fell? Was he hurt? The other vendors hadn't seen anything. I walked along the row of stalls with mixed feelings. At the end of the path as an intersection, a girl tending the bookstall there greeted me. When I explained, she frowned. A man was looking for bandages for his son earlier, but he was alone. If the boy was hurt, maybe he's waiting somewhere? I closed my eyes, imagining the scene. Raito on the swings, falling, getting hurt. If it was just a scrape, he should have come to me. But if he'd passed out, someone could have pretended to be his father and taken him. Nausea rose sharply in my throat. If Raito had been kidnapped, I blinked back tears and raced to the nearby herbal medicine stall. The owner, Mrs. Kisa, recognized me. Mother often bought medicine from her at the market. Tadashi? The middle-aged woman asked. What are you doing here alone? I stammered, not wanting to reveal Raito was missing. A man was looking for bandages at our tent earlier. Did he come here? Oh yes, I helped bandage his son. Poor thing fell from the swings. My heart skipped a beat. Oh God. So Raito was really hurt and someone kidnapped him? Something caught in my throat as the reality of the situation suddenly hit me. Even if the kidnapper was found, I couldn't possibly face him alone, could I? But wait a minute. Mrs. Kisa knew Raito. If she didn't recognize the injured child, then it wasn't my brother. Relieved but still worried, I started over. Should I just look for any child with a red balloon? I started running along the stalls again. A red plastic balloon. A red rubber balloon? The fish was short. A long red rubber fish balloon, different pattern. A red balloon similar to Raito's. I chased after the boy in blue, but it turned out that someone else was holding it. Not Raito, not Raito, not Raito. Exhausted and terrified, I paused for a moment to catch my breath. My chest ached, my head throbbed. My whole body felt like it was on fire. God, what should I do? Glancing around, I found the stalls in this area were a bit deserted. A painting vendor, an antique vendor, a gem vendor. The only one that was relatively busy was the second-hand goods stall. Suddenly, I spotted Sadi chatting with his friends there. He'd seen Raito earlier. Maybe he knew something? I clenched my fists and steeled myself. Sadi might mock or humiliate me, but he wouldn't fight in public. We both knew better than to embarrass our parents that way. I took a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Again. Good. Come on, Tadashi. Everything will be all right. Facing Sadi is just a bit scary, but it's not a big deal. There was no price too high to save Raito, even if it meant walking into the lion's den.